Hi, I'm Daryl Rainey from Progressive Realty Group here in Port Dover. The building behind me is best known for housing many great Port Dover restaurants. There's been fine dining, fish and chips, gourmet burgers, sushi. But did you know that it was originally built as a hotel? One that would also offer dental services once a week? In this edition of Building History, our friend Katie from the Port Dover Harbour Museum reveals the grand history of this grand building.
The building at 301 Main Street was built in 1875 for Joseph Bell, and it was called the Joseph Bell Hotel. Today, it houses 3 well-loved restaurants with apartments above. Joseph Bell moved to Port Dover in 1835 from Ireland. He was a molder by trade, and he owned property with a house and a factory on the east side of the lift bridge, where he would make cast stoves and other things out of metal. He bought 2 parcels of land on Main Street. One would become the hotel eventually. He spent many years in California and British Columbia looking for gold, and we think that's how he amassed his fortune that he used to build this hotel. Joseph's wife died out west, and he returned to Port Dover and passed away himself. He left the hotel to his daughter Sarah and her husband Hanford Smith, and they were the ones that changed the name from the Joseph Bell Hotel to the Dominion Hotel or Dominion House in 1886. Hotels were much more common in the 1800s when before you could take your personal vehicle into Port Dover for the day, you could take the train from Brantford or Woodstock and spend the day enjoying the shops and the beaches of beautiful Port Dover. In the early 1900s, you could take Al Faulkner's horse-driven carriage from the train station to the hotel if you were staying there. His livery was located just behind the hotel on Market Street West. In the late 1800s, Port Dover was already a bustling tourist town. People were coming by train and boat to see the sights. And of course, we had our commercial fishing industry that employed most of the men in town. We had hotels, we had restaurants, dry goods stores, bakeries, barber shops, everything you'd need in a bustling village. In 1888, a room to rent was just $1.50 for a night. You could get a shot of whiskey for 10 cents and a soft drink for 5 cents in 1906. In 1921, the hotel got its first electric washing machine. The owner at the time, E.L. Nichols, called it a labor saver and a time saver, something that we know today. The Dominion is in the center of Port Dover with all the activity bustling around it. You had the town hall directly beside it and Powell Park right in front. The hotel had a livery or stable behind it where people would hitch their horses for the night, and unfortunately it burnt to the ground in 1891. The main entrance to the hotel entered directly into the bar, so there was a need for a women's entrance. This was on the side, and there was a beautiful veranda there that the ladies would use to enter the women's side. The hotel offered an array of rooms for Port Dover's tourists that would choose to stay for the night. There was a barbershop in store, there was a dining hall and a parlor. There was musical entertainment, and there was even a surgeon that would come once a week to do your teeth. The Dominion Hotel closed in 1921. Its contents were all sold at auction. Local businessman Mr. Ivy purchased it for $10,000 and converted it into shops. So banks, barbershops, restaurants, until today when we have 3 restaurants and apartments above.
My wife and I do a little bit of real estate investing, and I saw this building, and the fellow that owned it prior to me, Andrew Kutchak, he had posted some pictures from the inside, and you know, I like historical buildings, so it just kind of was something that we wanted to get involved in. So when you buy an older building, it comes with some challenges, which we've worked our way through over the last few years. If this building could talk, I'm sure it would tell us a bunch of really cool stories. You know, we've done a lot of improvements. I like to make sure that the upper levels are for residential tenants, and I like to provide good housing for our tenants. So right now we have 8 residential units, the top 2 floors, and then the main floor, as you can see in behind us, is the Shed Pizzeria, which is a long-standing business in Port Dover. If you're from Dover, you definitely know the shed. And then the front section of our building is Sakura Sushi, which is just coming up on their first anniversary, and it's been a great addition to the community. So if you stand back in the park, actually, across the road, you can tell it's all one building. But somewhere along the way, prior to us owning this property, that section of the building was separated off. It has its own deed. I work closely with Kevin, the owner of Yin's, so that we can have a consistent look at the front of the building, most importantly the upper part. I'd love to know where the entranceway is between the two, because I believe that was possibly part of the ballroom at one time. So from my hallway to where Yin's upper unit is, there's got to be a hidden entrance in the wall there, and I'm sure if somebody ever uncovers it, there's probably some cool things hidden in there. I enjoy coming to smaller towns to see the heritage. I really like looking across the street at what's the theater building here and the nice job they've done, and I hope to carry some of that on in our building here across the street as we get a little further into our ownership.
The next time you're in Port Dover, be sure to visit this corner for some great eats, perhaps right after you've seen a show next door at Lighthouse Festival Theatre. It's the perfect way to enjoy your evening in this colorful coastal town. If you're looking to move in and around the Port Dover area, be sure to contact us at progressiverealtygroup.ca, your hometown realtor.